Hey folks, welcome. I know what I'm doing, honest. Welcome back to Maypole Farm and job number 1, and I'm sure we've got some lime somewhere, is to lime the field that we started preparing last time. Yep, there it is. It's not going to be enough, but we might as well put in what we've got. And then we're going to get it planted with grass and hopefully rolled. So that's the plan. We still have our fleet of demonstrator tractors here. And we will, after that, then make a decision on what we're going to do. I should demonstrate the fence to you as well. But first thing we're going to do is buy some more lime. Yep, that'll let us buy some more lime. Big bags of lime. For 4 bags, that will hopefully be enough. It's quite a big field, and I'm not sure how bad the lime is. I've not looked, but, you know, we'll see where we are. So, yeah, get it limed, get it planted. We have a planter. I don't remember if it's leased or not. This beastie is leased. We're going to get this returned. We're not going to keep it through the winter. That would be silly. I've installed a couple of new mods between videos. So I've installed the yield tracker mod, and I've installed the mod that disables rolling on crops that shouldn't need rolling. So that's cool. Will be useful when we get around to planting the corn. So, yeah. Have a look at the yield tracker mod once we've made a start. And once we've got GPS set up. To the field, or steering assistance. GPS, we all know it's GPS. Off we go. So we'll get on that short run. We need to add half a pH. So it's going down moderately quickly. We'll see how we get on, I guess, as we go through things, because that's kind of all we can do, isn't it? You know, it is a job that needs jobbing, and it is quite a way down. But once, as I said previously, with precision farming, once you've done this initial pass of getting the lime more sorted, then it's generally not too bad a job. It's generally not too bad a job. So that's what we'll do, because that's the process, isn't it? Yeah. And so with the way that the game engine works, the field is divided up into, or the map, I guess, because then, yeah, it's divided up into a grid, and I can't remember the resolution of the grid, so how big the squares are. So you might notice occasionally little bits are missed visually with where the lime is placed, but quite often that doesn't mean that the game registers bits of field being missed because of the way the gridding works. Yeah, so it's kind of a thing. It's kind of a thing. I did know what the numbers were, but I don't remember them. It's been a while since I was more actively interested in nerding out in the numbers on the game. So yeah. Let's get moved across a little bit, and there we go. Awesome. Yeah, so you see like I missed that little bit in the corner, but if you look in the mini map, then it's showing as being applied. So it is fine. It is fine. So stop saying so. Might not bug you, bugs me. We had the State of the Game 2 stream from Giants, and I loved one of the comments on, I think it was on the YouTube VOD afterwards, because I watched the VOD, I didn't watch it live, and I think it was somewhat fair how they managed to stretch 5 minutes worth of information into an hour and however long it was stream. They really didn't say very much, did they, that we hadn't heard already. So they recapped some of the stuff from FarmCon on the upcoming DLC around the fishing and stuff. They show off some of the JCB kit. They faffed around the fact that they've leaked that MB tracks are coming in the game, but they can't really talk about it. Oh no, we better not talk about it. But look, here's a video paused exactly where the MB track is. Oh, but we can't talk about it. Bunch of bloody school children. You do realise that most of your audience are probably middle-aged men. But anyway, it's yeah, that was a little bit silly, I felt. But you know, I guess they're trying to build hype to sell things. They are salesmen after all. There was some interesting things. They confirmed that the straw harvest is coming on 8/12/2025. I'm specifically saying the numeric date because that has caused me much amusement. Creative Mesh did a Facebook post confirming the release date. And they did the post with a German statement and an English statement. And I'm sure when I looked at it initially, the English statement had an American flag. This is pertinent. But it has a UK flag. Because in the German one, the date is written how you write dates. You know, day, month, year. How normal people, sensible people write dates numerically. And I think Facebook automatically translates that for English speakers. So although it's got the German flag, when I open Facebook, it shows me that in English with the date. And I understand that because I'm from a country in a part of the world where we write dates sensibly. And I realise that's the 12th of August. And then underneath that is a statement for the English-speaking world. And to avoid any confusion or doubt, they've written the date. They've written the 12th of August. Because one nation, I'm pretty sure it's the only nation, and I'm sure some people from that nation are going to say, yes, it's the only nation that's been to the moon, blah, 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 whatever. They write their dates wrong. And so they've written the words out. Yet there are still comments down below. We've got to wait until December for this. Is that December? Yeah, that just amused the hell out of me. It's like they wrote the words for you. And I know reading on the internet is hard. You know, I always quote the well-known statistic that 74.37% of people on the internet can't read. And it just goes to prove that, I think. Yeah, but it just amused the hell out of me that they'd specifically gone to the trouble of writing the date to avoid the issue of confusing our beloved American friends. And yet, still there were comments of, we've got to wait until December. Is that December? Yeah, just amused the hell out of me. I'm sorry, folks. It really did. Now, yes, Straw Harvest is not the most exciting deals. Certainly not for me. The kits are really expensive. The pellets generally aren't economically worth doing. So if you care about things like finances in the game, generally, yes, it's never been, in all of the previous iterations, it's never been particularly worth the time. But what might be cool is maybe now they're finished doing Straw Harvest, maybe they're going to move on to Pumps and Hoses. Damn. Pumps and Hoses, that's the one. Because that is a fun DLC. Now, not everyone liked Pumps and Hoses. Not everyone liked the fact that it was a paid-for DLC. And that's fine. You didn't have to buy it. It wasn't, but it was game-changing. It was game-changing if you enjoyed it anyway. But it wasn't something that broke the game if you didn't have it. But I really enjoyed it. Now, I only used it a few times. But, I remember... I've got a funny feeling I'm butchering, potentially misremembering the map. But I'm pretty sure it was Valley the Old Farm. And... certainly one of that map creator's maps, and pumping either digestate or slurry basically across the map. Yes, it was a faff to set up, but it was fun, and it took me ages, but it was fun. Yes, it would have been quicker to just use, because I play on PC, to just use Courseplay and have Courseplay and Autodrive, or just use Autodrive to have a tanker bring that to me where I was on the map. But it was really good fun. And so yeah, I really hope that they bring that DLC to FS25. Just highly likely that it'll be a paid for DLC again, but if it is, it is. Giants announced that as part of the next content update, I don't know if it's going to be part of the next game update, but part of the next free content update, we're getting the components of the AGI pack. Now, if you, I guess, play a lot of American maps, you'll probably be very excited because grain augers. But one of the cool things that came with that pack was all of the seed treatment stuff, which is cool. I can say cool a lot, can't I? And so one of the interesting things with that DLC with FS22 was the fact that Giants released a developer pack for it, because it was a free DLC. Although it was released as a DLC, pretty sure it was anyway, they released a developer pack on the developer portal that they have. So you could, if you were a modder, still make use of the functionality of that, which was which was very cool. I don't know if they've done that for any other DLC content, other than it eventually coming to the next version of the game as a mod or base game content. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. And I think I've covered... I know they released the Community Cultivators, which is essentially a program for content creators and modders to try and engage with the community, so giants don't have to do it. There you go. That's that summarized. So it's, you know, a bit like we do around Llama. It's that, but on a global scale, and probably smaller because it's individuals rather than a group organizing it. Yeah, and that's the entire hour and however long it was stream condensed into me not even finishing liming a field. Yay. Yeah. No, it's good that they're engaging with the community. I don't know if I watched it all because they did say they were going to do a Q&A, and I don't remember seeing a Q&A. But yeah. Let's buy 3 more bags of lime. You can never have enough lime on a farm. It will always get used when you're playing with precision farming. I think is kind of the point. Have a quick peek at... that's not it. So I'm not sure where this yield tracker lives. Stock check. There. I didn't activate it. That's why it's not showing up. I downloaded it, but I didn't activate it when I started the save. Oh well. Fine, we're not going to be harvesting anything today, so... let's go. Confused that our cows aren't consuming anything, but I guess they haven't actually ticked over an hour, and maybe that is populated live, so... I've not looked at that before. Bosh. Bosh. I'm liking the style. I am liking the style. I meant to look up some facts and stuff so I could ramble about facts. Because I'm kind of enjoying that little addition to how we do things. Obviously, it usually works better when I've pre-recorded the gameplay, which I haven't today because it's been a week, folks. It's been a week. So last week, obviously, there were a lot more videos, and that's because all of last week I worked from home, didn't go into the office because of various reasons. And that makes it easier to do this. This week I've been in the office for a couple of days, and at the weekend I was just exhausted, so I didn't get much done over the weekend. In fact, I intentionally chose not to over the weekend because I was really tired. If you're a fan of Beaver, well, even if you're not a fan of it, you will have been streaming some Timberborn, and I decided not to do that on Sunday because I was exhausted. And so, yeah, there's been a big gap in videos. I think there's only been 2 this week with this one, once I get it finished. But it's been a week. It's been a really tiring week. So it is what it is. I did ponder on Monday and Wednesday, in fact. So I was in the office Monday and Wednesday this week. And I was, it's like, I'm going to get home and set myself up, and I'm going to do some recording. Now, for info, well, some of you will know this, but an office day, going into work day for me, starts at 5 a.m. with a 90-minute drive-ish. Then full day in the office, and I find office days for me are much more tiring than working at home, because having to interact with people a lot more, and that's mentally draining for me, as well as working. And that's some pretty busy working to do. Not busy work, but it was pretty busy working while I was in the office as well. And then the drive home is Monday's drive home was like 3 hours. So yeah, that gives you maybe some kind of idea of my day. So Monday I got home at about 7 p.m. So it's like a 14-hour day to return this guy. And then I've got and I'm whinging a little bit. I'm just trying to explain, I guess. Then got to feed everyone in the house, and I'm just brain dead at that point. So whatever my desires were, now it was happening. And Wednesday was similar. Apart from the fact that Wednesday was mentally more draining. So let's make sure we don't have tram lines turned on to any extent. Tram lines, none. Oh, new feature. You could choose the directions of the tram line. They must have watched my ranty video. Yeah, so Tuesday I made the Timberborn video. It's Thursday, I'm making this video. And yeah, the weekend I was just wrecked. So yeah, it's a little bit disheartening at the moment with the old analytics on the channel. It's driven, some of it's driven by the lack of content, but for the month of July, I am at net -1 subscribers. I'm not sure what I've done wrong this month. But yeah, we are down an subscriber overall. So that's of all the people that have subscribed and unsubscribed. Been a while since over the 30 days there's been a net drop like that, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I want to make sure we don't miss any bits on here. Anyway, that's a me problem, not a you problem. He says as he misses loads of bits. Might freehand the headlands. Yeah, so anyway. Where was I? Saxlingham. By the time you see this, I think it will have been released. Think I was lucky enough, and I do consider it lucky enough, to have got a copy of it earlier this week. See previous conversation for why I haven't been able to do any content on it, but I did have a look around it on Monday night. It's a very nice map. Thompson Briscoe is one of my favourite map makers, along with Cav, obviously. I think Thompson Briscoe makes... Yeah, he makes very nice, very detailed UK style maps. I think up there with some of the bigger, more established names in map making. And yeah, I'm going through this, the constant battle I have, particularly when FSB releases a map of I can't play it. I just can't. I cannot fit in playing. You know, I've made one video on Farm Sim this week, but it's like it's such a nice map. There are a couple of farms on there I think are amazing. They would be brilliant for how I like to play. Yeah, so go check it out. It'll be on his itch.io page. If you have problems, he has a Discord. Be respectful when you go there. You know, remember that you've paid. Remember how much you've paid for that, because you can download it from itch for free. Remember that he's put in a huge amount of work to get this map out to people for free. So yeah, if you have issues, by all means head to his Discord, ask questions, ask for help, but be respectful when you ask for help. If you have issues, or if there are issues at release, you know, yeah, you might play the game and you know it might not work perfectly straight away, but what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose a few hours playing a video game you enjoy, and you might have to start something again. It's not that bad, is it? Really? If you're that worried, and if that's that big of an issue for you, wait a few days. You know, so the thing with maps coming out, and yeah, you see it with those big, famous, established map makers. When their maps come out, and when a lot of maps come out, there are issues and bugs. And it's the difference between a map maker testing it with their friends and how they play, and thousands of people testing it with how everyone plays. So, yeah. If starting playing and having something going wrong and having to wait for an update which might say needs a new save is a fundamental issue for you, and is going to cause you to lose your shit and rant at someone, just wait. Give it a few days. Don't download it at release. Have a look round, but don't start playing seriously. It is very simple. It's very simple. Remember that, and this applies to all modders and you know everyone in the community really, because you know it's not just modders that help with all this kind of stuff, and they're all people. All these lines of text that you're interacting with, and these pictures and things, they're all people. And the words that you type out have an effect on these people. And you might be seeing the same, well, they should be thicker skinned, and you can off. Other people shouldn't have to adapt to how you want to talk to them. So, yeah. Hadn't expected to go down that route. We're rerouting. We are going to reroute. We're going to head to December. That's making me smile because... just because. Right, we are making pretty decent progress. I seriously like this tractor. It's very nice. I do feel this is probably going to be the same. It sounds quite sterile, I think. I have had a little listen. I'm not listening now. But I feel that, given the land of my birth, we can deal with that. We can deal with that. You know, we can maybe do a bit of a custom exhaust. We won't put neons on it, but we can maybe do a bit of a custom exhaust and improve how it sounds, if we wanted to. Now, it doesn't bother me that much because I literally only really listen to it when I'm editing the video. Most of the time, anyway. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. If I'm playing to pre-record stuff for a video that I will then put commentary on afterwards, I will quite often listen. I will be listening in that case when I'm playing quite often. And sometimes when I'm recording the commentary. But like now, when I'm talking, I don't have game tab on. So yeah. But it feels like we are making cracking progress. And it's going to be very nice to have this planted. I'm intrigued, as I said last time, to see what work's available in December, if there is any. If there's not, because I'm not keen to spend too much more of the cash if there's not, probably what I'll do is speed through a lot of winter. So I might do the winter video, if it does become a winter video, as I was just talking about, a pre-recorded video with commentary, because that will mostly probably be a lot of feeding the cows, a little pause to see what our subsidy is from the OSR. Yeah. Let's see how we get on. That's lined up rather nicely. I have to see now. Cool. Yeah. Now I could have put 30 in here. but I'm hoping by springtime our lovely herd of cows has sorted us out with our fertilising needs for the grass. And that we don't have to worry too much about that. What I am going to do is turn that off, because I think we could probably make better progress this way. I'm going to outwind you out my neighbour again, but it's a different neighbour. I guess the other neighbour. I think they're pumping tyres up, because all I can hear is an air compressor constantly beeping. Really should not have neighbours. Anyway. It's what it is, isn't it, folks? It is what it is. Come on. And we drop down to 1. We lift that up. We turn around. We pick up the skipped row. We drop down. We go back to 2. I like that. Yeah, that is pretty good. We need to grab a thumbnail, but I need to remove the lines, so it's all a process, folks. It's all a process. God, I've said that so many times in the last 10 minutes. Does look like we're going to have enough seed, which I was a little bit unsure about. Turn your bugger. There we go. So we'll go back into here. Turn off the lines. Give her some gas. And then we want that button. And go. Job's a good one. Back on the lines. And back on GPS. That'd be a good idea. It seems to have held a straight line quite nicely, actually, without GPS on. Another win for the STEYR. STEYR or STEYR? Either way, awesome tractor award winner. So, if we were to buy it, be careful. Let's just have a quick peek into sales. Horsepower, like 171 horsepower. That's tempting, folks. That's mighty tempting. There is the test drive mod out here. I don't know if it works on stuff that's in the sales. Let's keep that speed low. So we'd be looking at that. Probably that, to be honest. I wouldn't mind some chunkier tyres. Like 90 grand. We get 77 back on the fence. So 13 grand. Not too bad. Not too bad. So I decided to take a little bit of a break to grab a drink, get some of this seeding done. Also let one of the dogs get a drink, and yeah, we're done with the first half of the up-down rows. So can we get this thing to turn? It does not like turning. I'll give it that. Come on, please, please. Yes, awesome. I am going to roll the field off camera because I could do with getting this finished, and well, I could do with finishing recording and getting into the editing and uploading cycle. So yeah, it's just rolling a field. You guys know what that looks like. And I'm pretty set on grabbing this guy. The interior is pretty nice, I think, or pretty nicely done. Not that I am often in cab anyway, but it's kind of nice to check that the tractor doesn't have a super janky interior, and it doesn't. So yep, we will be, I think, returning the Fendt to the dealership because they sold us a Duffin, and going and getting ourselves a new STEYR. So yeah, now probably what's going to happen is, actually no, I won't. What I'll be doing, I'm not sure how it'll behave, so I'll be deleting these vehicles from the XML file. I was going to say I would be selling them, but I won't, because the edits that I made so that I could buy them, I've undone by updating the mod so we could see the prices. So I'll just delete them. I was going to say, if I end up selling them, we might get them in crop up in the sale. And I was going to say I won't buy them in the sale if they come up straight away, because that would be slightly cheaty. But I'm just going to delete them from the XML, actually, so that gets around that issue. So that's fine. I'm curious if... No, nothing that we need anyway. Obviously that guy is interesting, but yeah. This is going to be our, well, a similar tractor is going to be our new vehicle. So, and yeah, similarly reminds me of Mr. James May. And I had a very good video again this week. Very good. Which stupidly I only half watched, and by only half watch I mean I watched it while I was doing something else, which meant I missed some of the story. And the story with James May videos, I've been going at 1 mile an hour, 6 miles an hour this whole time. The story with the James May videos on the James May YouTube channel is half of the joy. And I can't remember which hotel it was, but there was they made a sausage and marmalade sandwich, which sounds weird, I know. It's not something that I would eat because I don't like, but I don't eat bread for a one normally, and I don't eat marmalade, so I would eat the sausages. But apparently it was something that a hotel, fancy hotel somewhere in London sold. And yeah, they made a sausage and marmalade sandwich to try this out, because something that used to be made at this fancy hotel isn't made anymore. But you know, it's just the joy of James May and Lucy Brown, who's works for James, who's quite funny as well. And yeah, it's good video. Recommend you watch it if you enjoy James May's style of humour, I guess. If you don't watch it, because you won't enjoy it. That's kind of how things work, isn't it? Yeah. If you don't enjoy James May, you won't enjoy videos with James May in them. Wow. That's a pretty profound statement, isn't it? God, I'm good. God, I'm good. This is the facts that you're here for, isn't it, folks? This is the facts that you are here for. Bosh. Yeah, so I think our little demo session has been very successful. Yes, I came into it slightly biased. By slightly biased, I mean it would have taken a lot to convince me not to go for the STEYR. But, you know, we tested some other options. And I think we will be very happy with this. I think we will be very happy with this. One thing I'm not sure about is just go there, couldn't we? So the case does 24 miles an hour. Okay. The STEYR also does 24 miles an hour, so that's okay. So we're losing a bit of road speed. But we've got the MB track for that. So, you know, roundabouts and swings and such things. So I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. And hey, when we get the DLC, the next DLC, which can't be a million miles away, maybe there'll be some really cool stuff in it that we could add in on here. Because let's be honest, it's just going to essentially be a paid-for mod pack, isn't it? A bit like Prairies and Plains was, really. That's what I was going to. Speaking of Fords, American Truck Sim is adding in those Fords that you, well, if you're a truck fan, and by truck I mean pickup truck, a real truck, a manly man's truck, is adding in those trucks that you really want. So I had completely missed that they are essentially adding a new mode to that game, a kind of open world roaming mode in, let's say, domestic vehicles. And as part of that, they've licensed a bunch of Ford stuff. So I think they've got the Mustang, some pickup trucks, you know, the Fords that people get excited about. And I think it's kind of cool. So if you've watched any of my ATS videos, you will quite often hear me get all excited about, you know, the scenery. And I think driving around some of the areas in American Truck Sim, in, you know, and Ford Mustang, for example, and just being able to pull over and look at the nice river or whatever would be kind of nice sometimes. So I'm more excited than I thought I would be about such a thing, and I think it'll be very cool. And I also found it horrendously amusing that ATS has got the Ford automotive license that Giants clearly hasn't got. Yeah, that did make me chuckle. Anywho, we are pretty much done on here. We have our nice, let's say, rolling green pasture, but it's our sloping green pasture. So, speaking of rolling, it will be rolled, because otherwise it needing to be rolled will bug me. But it will be rolled off camera betwixt videos, just so that we're set up to make progress. I think I might record it and do it as a little time lapse at the start of the next video, like we did with the bale stacking job. Yeah, but let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure that this is what's going to be joining the farm. Well, a similar tractor to this. We will be returning the Fendt. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed the video, folks. If you have, do the things, and I will see you all next time.